Hello, APS Online students. This is Mr. Brysh, your counselor, and I want to talk to you today a little bit about credits and transcripts. So let's get into this and see what's going on. At APS, you need 22 credits to graduate. So here are the breakdowns if you are graduating in 2015 or after. So for instance, in civics, you need half a credit. Language arts, you need 4. US history, you need 1. For electives, you need 7.0. What you can see here is that any category that you fill, say you take 4 years of language arts like English 9, English 10, English 11, English 12. If you take journalism, say as an extra class, then since all the language arts are filled up, it would count for an elective. And that works for any of these types of courses here. But you need 22 credits total, and you need all of these categories filled. So you could have 24 credits, but you could have 3 language arts credits, and you wouldn't be able to graduate because you still need 1 more credit of language arts. Credits, for the most part, come in increments of 0.25, a quarter credit, because we have quarters that we break our year up into, right? So since most courses are quarters, if you take a course for a whole year, then it's worth 1 credit. Some classes, though, are semesters, so we're talking about the ones in Edgenuity. You might remember it as E2020. Some of the electives in there are half a credit. Things like Introduction to Arts and Career Planning and Development, those kind of classes are worth 0.5 credits. We call it Club 22, the graduation. So you might be able to see people, especially seniors, or maybe even staff members, wearing Club 22 shirts. And we call it Club 22 because you need 22 credits to graduate. So some students have asked me quite a bit about grade point averages. And especially if you're new to high school, you might not understand what a GPA is. So basically you get 4 points for each A, you get 3 points for each B, you get 2 for each C, and so on. And then what you do is you add up all the points and divide by the number of classes you have. So most of you have 5 or 6 classes. The rare person maybe has 7 classes. And here's an example of that, right? So if I'm a sophomore and I'm taking English 10, US History, Core 2, Chemistry, Spanish 2, and Yearbook, my grades look like this. If I added up all my points and then I divided by 6, my GPA would be 2.7. Your GPA rolls from the moment you have a first class as a 9th grader all the way till the end of your 12th grade year when you graduate. So your GPA is constantly changing. The more A's and B's you have, the higher it gets. The more D's and F's you have, the lower it gets. So a good sort of goal for everybody to have would be 3.0 or better, right? A B average or better. That would be a nice goal for everybody to have. That will open up a lot of doors for you later on when it comes to colleges, when it comes to Pickens, when it comes to CCA, when it comes to any of those other opportunities that we offer. Your GPA is a major factor in that. And I want to talk about calculating your index score. And here's the college admissions index, the eligibility index. And what you see here is GPAs down the left-hand side, ACTs and SAT scores down across the top. So obviously the best ACT score you could get would be 36, and the best GPA you could get would be 4.0. So if you got a 4.0 and a 36 on your ACT, your index score would be in the bottom right-hand corner, or right down here, maybe 146, which is fantastic, right? Not sure most of us can do that, so or have the desire to do that. But if you have a 3.0, which is, like I said, if that's your goal, and to have a B average, for instance, right? And you have an average ACT score for our school, which would be a 17 or an 18, you would land somewhere in this 88 to 90 range. And if you land in this 88 to 90 range, what that means is that you would be automatically into a couple of colleges. Metro would be one. And so that is the reason why they've built this index here. Each college has a different score that they want you to get. Metro wants you to get a 76, which goes right up along this way. See it here? So if you have a 3.0, in order to get a 76, you need less than 12 on the ACT. If you have a 2.0, in order to get a 76 to get into Metro, you need a 20 on the ACT. So you can see how the higher your GPA, the better off you are. The higher your ACT, the better off you are. The higher your ACT and your GPA are, the better off you are. So once you get into the 100 teens and 20s, then you start getting scholarships for colleges and that sort of thing. So if college is your goal, then then this is a good sort of chart to get exposed to right now. Each college, like I said, is going to have a specific number. Like I said, Metro is 76. UNC, University of Northern Colorado, is 94. CU Boulder is 101, I think 102, something like that, in the low 100s here. So it's like right up along on the chart there. So if you have, I don't know, say like a 95, and you want to try to get into CU Boulder, you're in the maybe pile. If you get a 101 or 104, then what happens is the CU comes to you and says, hey, you should come to our college. Here's a bunch of information about it. Just say yes. Come to CU. If, however, you're in the 94, 95 category, then you're applying to go to their school. And then you get put in this maybe pile. And the people in the maybe pile, the college admissions officers look for letters of recommendation. They look for the types of classes you've had, and if you've had any difficult ones, like a CCA class would be great to show a college counselor, because it would say, hey, I can do college level work. They'll also look for community service projects. They'll look for your, like I said, letters of recommendation from people. So that's not to say that you can't get in if you don't have 104 into CU, because they take plenty of people who don't. But you have to go through some more steps, right, in order for you to prove that you are the right kind of fit for that school. All right, guys, so that is credits, transcripts, a little bit about college. And when you have questions, you just need to let me know. My information is in the bottom left-hand corner of the counseling page. So my email's there, my phone's there, so you can call or text anytime. Thanks.